Hello, my name's Louise Gleich. I'm a senior policy researcher in the Joint Modern Slavery Unit at the Centre for Social Justice and Justice in Care. And I'm going to give you an overview of our new paper, Slavery at Home, a new bill to tackle slavery in Britain. Recently, the government has been focused on perceived abuse of the modern slavery system. But while any abuse is a concern, there's a risk that this focus distracts attention from the action needed to tackle slavery happening in our communities. This paper makes the case for a new drive and a new bill to tackle slavery here in the UK. We estimate that there are at least 100,000 victims being exploited in the UK. But nearly 8 years since the Modern Slavery Act was passed, modern slavery is still a low-risk, high-reward crime. Prosecution rates are low, and sentencing doesn't seem to be proportionate to the harm caused to victims. Our understanding of modern slavery is also evolving. Many more British victims are being identified, now about 30% of all reported victims. And new forms of exploitation, like cuckooing, are emerging. Slavery is happening in our communities. We need action and renewed commitment. Our paper highlights 4 priority areas for action. Firstly, protecting vulnerable people and holding criminals accountable by making cuckooing a specific modern slavery criminal offence. Cuckooing is where criminals take over someone's home for the purpose of criminal activity, often to establish a base for illegal drug dealing. The victims are usually vulnerable, perhaps with learning disabilities or substance misuse issues. But at the moment, cuckooing isn't a criminal offence, and the CPS says it falls outside the Modern Slavery Act unless other exploitation is present. We think that needs to change. Secondly, getting tough on modern slavery offenders. We have to stop modern slavery being a low-risk, high-reward crime. We need a strategic focus on increasing prosecutions and a thorough review of sentencing to make sure it fits the harm done. We also need to regulate the behaviour of offenders better when they're not in prison. At the moment, only 1/3 of convicted offenders receive a slavery and trafficking prevention order to help prevent further exploitation. We recommend creating a national register of modern slavery offenders and wider availability of slavery and trafficking prevention and risk orders. Our third priority is shifting the balance in business supply chains. The Modern Slavery Act set world-leading standards for business reporting on slavery in their supply chains, but non-compliance and poor quality reporting means it hasn't been as effective as hoped. We need to strengthen the reporting rules with mandatory minimum requirements for more and better quality information. There also need to be meaningful penalties and enforcement for failure to comply. Beyond reporting, the government should introduce import controls to prevent goods made with forced labour entering the UK economy, and lead from the front with consistent government procurement practices. Our final priority is smarter support for confirmed victims. Support for victims is important to foster recovery and prevent them being re-exploited. But it is also the key to unlocking progress against slavery offenders, because support helps victims engage with prosecutions. The law should provide all confirmed victims with a minimum of 12 months of support after the Home Office has recognised they're a victim. And the government should take action to increase availability of specialist victim navigators embedded with police forces to support modern slavery victims involved with the criminal justice process. Modern slavery is happening up and down this country. It's time for a renewed drive to tackle slavery at home with a new bill and strong strategic leadership. Our paper recommends how. For more information, you can read the full paper on our website.